Two more bodies recovered in Port Harcourt helicopter crash. Court clears way for Kano local government elections, nullifies attempts to halt polls. Jos timber traders, artisans lose patronage as blackout enters day 5. Away from Nigeria, Uganda court sentences former Lord Resistance Army commander to 40 years. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, says 2 more bodies have been recovered from the Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter that crashed in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. 3 persons were confirmed dead following the crash on Thursday. 8 persons were said to be on board the aircraft when the incident happened. Barely a day after the crash, the NSIB said more bodies had been recovered, while 3 more persons remain unaccounted for. According to him, investigators are on their way to the scene of the accident, saying it will take days for the wreckage of the aircraft to be recovered. The helicopter, with registration 5N-BQG, operated by East Wind Derivation, crashed 1 kilometer away from its destination. It was engaged by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. Meanwhile, the River State Police Command has stated that all 8 passengers inside the helicopter crash that occurred in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, on Thursday may have died. In an update, the River State Police Command, in a statement by its Public Relations Officer, SP Grace Irenge Koko, noted that all the passengers may have lost their lives in the tragic incident. The update comes after President Bola Tinubu ordered an intensified search and directed the military to join the search for the passengers involved in the crash. 3 persons were confirmed dead in earlier reports. The accident occurred at 11:22 a.m. along the waterways in Port Harcourt when the helicopter, a Sikorsky SK-7 with registration number 5N-BQG and operated by East Wind Derivation, took off from Port Harcourt military base to the FFSO News and Town Oil Rig. Two students have been killed along Kura Falls, Barikinladi Road in Gashish district of Barikinladi local government area of Plateau State. One of the students, identified as Obadiah Darian, was a student at the National Veterinary Research Institute, and the other, Ezekiel Monday, was a student of the government senior secondary school, Gashish. It was guarded that they were ambushed by gunmen and shot dead when they were on a motorcycle to Barikinladi town. The attackers also carted away the phone belonging to Obadiah. In another attack on Thursday night, a young man by the name Francis Samuel, who hailed from Far Settlement, was also reportedly stabbed in Kui community. It was learned that the victim survived the attack but is currently on admission in the hospital receiving treatment. The police public relations officer of the Plateau State Command, Alfred Alabo, is yet to respond to the attacks. Still security, but over in Katsina State, operatives of the police command in the state have rescued 126-year-old Mubarak Haruna, who was kidnapped in the Jibia local government area of the state about a month ago. This was contained in a statement by the state police public relations officer, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, on Thursday in the state. The rescued victim, according to the police, was taken to a hospital where he is receiving medical attention. It was learned that the victim, who hailed from Tudun Yalhilda quarters in Katsina metropolis, was kidnapped by hoodlums at Kwarere village while traveling in a commercial vehicle along the Katsina to Magama Jibia road. Over in Kano State, the High Court has nullified any attempt to truncate the conduct of the local government's elections, directing Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, (KANSEC), to proceed with the conduct of local government elections scheduled for Saturday. Justice Sanusi Ma'aji of the State High Court gave the order in a matter filed by the State Independent Electoral Commission against All Progressives Congress APC and 13 others on Friday. According to Justice Maaji, Kansiek is empowered by the provisions of the Constitution to conduct, supervise, and hold local government elections across the 44 local government areas of the state. He maintained that any attempt to truncate the process of conducting the poll amounts to nullity. The justice also ordered the security agencies to, as a matter of urgency, provide protection of life and properties during the conduct of the election slated for Saturday. Justice Simon Amubeda of the Federal High Court in Kano on Tuesday stopped the conduct of the council election, noting that the State Independent Electoral Commission was illegally constituted.
We are not arguing about the functions and duties of the plaintiff, but we are saying that the composition and constitution of the plaintiff was done in contravention of the provisions of the Constitution and provisions of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission laws.
The judgment was well sounded, and it has also ordered that the election should continue to hold, and also the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission has the jurisdiction to conduct this election, has the powers to conduct this election, and it also make a further order that all the security agencies in the state, including the police, the army, all the security, DSS and whatever, they are mandated as a matter of constitutional responsibility to provide adequate security for the conduct of this election.
Still staying in Kano and with the local government elections, there has been growing concerns over increased cases of violence in the state in the build-up to the elections scheduled to hold on Saturday. Though a federal high court has halted the process, politicians are getting ready for the election, but the State Independent Electoral Commission, Kansiek, has so far not made formal announcement on the issue. In this report, Abdulaziz Ibrahim speaks to victims of political violence and security agencies on the development.
Campaign rallies for the Saturday election for the 44 local government chairmen and 484 councillors were often used as a cover by thugs to unleash violence on onlookers, thereby creating tense atmosphere even before the election. One of the victims of such attacks is a local radio station manager, Ado Saidu Warawa, who was attacked when he ran into the campaigners in the ancient city.
It was a mob action in their hundreds wielding dangerous weapons. I learned that there was a political rally on that fateful Thursday. So it was after that rally that they come and took over the street, took over the people on the street as hostage, robbing them of their belongings, especially cell phones. So I was forced to give my cell phone.
However, things have calmed down in Kano. There's a sense of anticipation in the air as residents brace themselves for the upcoming elections. Many people on the streets say ensuring peace is far more important than showing allegiance to any particular party. The problem we usually have sometimes in Kano can actually lead to violence. So we believe that once the security operatives are there to give support, we believe that everything will go on well.
But I want to urge security, considering what had happened in these past weeks, that they should be proactive to see that safety of Kano people, especially the electorates, are protected.
According to the Kano State Police Public Relations Officer, although police are mandated to comply with the court order limiting their participation, security measures are still in place in line with their constitutional responsibility to prevent any unrest in Kano.
The position of the law is very clear. Section 4 of the Police Act 2020 as amended provides the responsibility of the Nigeria Police Force, which is protection of life and property. And of course, you are very much aware of the court order received by the police command here in Kano. Item 9 of the order provided that the police should not participate in the coming local government election in the state. The police in Kano are not participating in the election. But however, it is our responsibility to ensure no breakdown of law and order in the state, and we are always alive to our responsibilities. The State Commissioner of Police, CP Salman Dogo Garba, has already directed all the command's operational commanders to ensure protection of life and property in Kano State, and he directed for continuous round-the-clock visibility patrols to ensure that the inhabitants of the state are safe.
Kano remains calm for now, but the city's residents are hoping that the peace reigns throughout the election period. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has debunked reports claiming that the old series of the 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes will cease to exist as legal tender by December 31, 2024. In a statement released on Thursday by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Sidi Hakama, the CBN noted that the order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, to extend the use of old naira banknotes still holds indefinitely. The Supreme Court ordered that the old series of 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes will continue to be legal tender alongside the redesigned versions. Accordingly, the CBN said all banknotes issued by it will continue to remain legal tender indefinitely. As Nigerians continue to struggle with the rise in inflation, Lagos residents have been telling Trust TV how the economy is impacting families and also offering potential solutions to overcoming these challenges. Victoria Tokolo, who spoke to some of the residents, has more on this report, is presented from our studio.
Since the coming of the present administration, prices of goods and services have continued to soar following the removal of fuel subsidies and floating of naira. To address this surging inflation, which is affecting millions nationwide, Lagos residents are urging Nigerians to embrace agriculture towards boosting food production and also prioritize the production and consumption of locally made goods as a way to strengthen the economy and reduce dependency on imports.
Though the policy making is not good for us, we cannot produce what we are eating, or we are producing something that we are supposed to eat, but we are selling it outside. Therefore, from the increment of these petroleum products, inflations come up because what you are supposed to buy 1,000 is now triple that, just because of the policy.
I feel like, number one, we need to start producing more things in this country instead of importing it. The more we import, the more we increase our the number of bills that we have on our necks. So let's start creating more things. Example, the Govt refinery, we can produce more petrol through there and oil through there. What I feel.
We need to bring ourselves together on the round table. The experts need to come on. The government need to come to the table and to support the farmers. As you can see, we need to queue to what we are producing so that we'll make our life better. But look at, we value what is coming from outside country. We don't value our what we produce in the country.
In Nigeria, if we want to bring inflation rate down now, we have to work on bringing the prices of goods and services down. And how do we do that? The government will have to look at the policies again and try to see what they can do, to make the lives of Nigerians to be better. Basically, the cost of transportation, drove the cost of goods and services, made it to be high. And now, if we can work on the subsidy that was initially removed, I know people have been clamoring that probably they can bring the subsidy back, or if there's something they can do about it to ensure that Nigerians, they feel good.
Nigerians, we are hardworking people. Everywhere in the world, they know us as people that can thrive in any economy, any country, any system. So I would employ Nigerians, develop yourself. There are businesses you can come up with. People pay for value. Find a need you can solve. Once you do that, that can help as well, provide more money for you, provide more streams of income for you, because you can't rely on one stream of income in this economy.
They reiterated the need for Nigerians to cultivate their own food towards enabling them reduce the cost of buying food items on a regular basis.
As power outage enters its fifth day in some states in northern Nigeria, timber traders and artisans in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say they are losing customers on a daily basis. Residents of the state have remained in blackout since Monday following the tripping of 330 kV circuit transmission lines between Makurdi in Benue State and Enugu State. Here's the report.
Since the power outage on Monday morning, residents of the state have been speaking on the development. The situation is not only affecting those using electricity for domestic purposes, but also those using it for businesses. Artisans and timber traders, among others, say the power outage being experienced in the state is affecting their businesses.
This scarcity of life has causing a lot of problem for our business. Even just now, most our customers, when they are come to the market, because they don't have light, they used to go. So we are not getting more money.
As you can see, nothing is moving. In this market, when you come, you'll find it's a busy market, but you can see people are just, hanging around and sitting, just because they have no option than to sit. We have few generators here, and the generators too are faulty. They cannot serve the people here. They cannot serve us they cannot serve the customers.
But right now, we don't know what is going on. We just wake up in the morning, the light being ceased. About 3 days now, we are really suffering. Because most of our people now, we are just coming to sleep, not to do market. Not to do market. Even if you can see my eye now, I'm just waking up from sleeping.
Slight issue. It affected us in different ways. Morally, financially. Both our family, our siblings, or any other place that our species should go to is being affected. Because coming here to come and work, you don't have the opportunity to work. You don't have the opportunity to buy fuel, even if you even have generator. Fuel is cost, light is cost. So it's very hard situation we find ourselves.
The artisans and timber traders, however, appeal to the government to salvage the situation, enable them remain in operation.
We are calling on the government to please, as a matter of urgent, because this electricity contributes like 70% of our livelihood. Not just because I sell building materials. There are people that sell, there are barbers, or there are, these iron fabricators. Without electricity, they cannot do anything.
So we are calling the government to look into it and help us and see what they can do over the light issue, so that we have it and we continue our lives.
Call on the government. They should please look, and our National Assembly should look towards this problem of electricity. I think giving every state its priority to generate light for themselves, I think it will solve the problem.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria on Thursday said it had identified the fault, and engineers are already working to restore power in the affected areas. Adomusa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company PLC EEDC has clarified that it is still in existence amid claims making the rounds that the company has ceased to exist following the licensing of its subsidiary company, Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited, by the Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission, EERC. Reacting to an inquiry by journalists on Friday on the matter, the spokesperson of the EEDC, Emeka Eze, said the company still exists. Eze said it was necessary to allay the fears and concerns expressed by its esteemed customers, vendors, service providers, and other stakeholders. It would be recalled that earlier in the week, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, finally handed over regulatory power to EERC. With the development, Main Power took over the electricity distribution operations in Enugu State after it was presented with an interim operating license to distribute electricity in Enugu State by EERC. The takeover of Manpower has generated so much confusion and misconception in public space. The Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo has called for the state to be included in the 13% oil derivation fund. Speaking during a meeting with Minister of Petroleum Resources Heineken Lokpobiri in Abuja on Thursday, Governor Ododo announced that significant amounts of crude oil were found in Olamaboro local government area. He expressed regret that the state had not yet experienced the economic advantages usually provided to oil-producing states. He further emphasized Kogi's important location in the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kanu AKK gas pipeline project, positioning the state as a key hub for oil and gas investments. Responding, Lokpobiri promised federal backing to Kogi, confirming that NUPRC will investigate methods to tap into the state's oil resources. Lokpobiri stated that Kogi is now part of the group of oil-producing states, noting that the amount of revenue the state receives will be based on the level of production. Vice President Kashim Shettima's trip to Somalia to represent Nigeria at the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government Summit has been cancelled after a foreign object hit his plane during a stopover at JFK Airport in New York. A statement by Special Advisor to the President Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said the foreign object damaged the cockpit windscreen of the plane. President Tinubu, acting promptly, has approved a ministerial delegation to represent Nigeria at the summit in the Somali capital of Apia, while the plane's repair has commenced. The delegation, which will now represent Nigeria at the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting in Somalia, is being led by the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal. The summit began on the Pacific Island on 21 October and it will end on 26 October. Vice President Shettima and Foreign Minister Yusuf Toga have left New York for Nigeria. On the foreign scene, a Ugandan court on Friday sentenced former Lord's Resistance Army LRA commander Thomas Koyelo to 40 years in prison after a landmark war crimes trial over his role in the group's two-decade reign of terror. It was the first time a member of the feared organization, which waged the two-decade rebellion against President Yoweri Museveni, had been tried for war crimes in a Ugandan court. The sentence against Koyelo, who was convicted in August of 44 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity, was announced by Michael Elobo, the lead judge in the case at the International Crimes Division of the High Court in the northern city of Gulu. He said Koyelo has the right to appeal the sentence and/or conviction within 14 days. The charges against him included murder, rape, torture, pillaging, abduction, and destruction of settlements for internally displaced people. In sports, Plateau United forward Albert Hilary is on the verge of making a return to the team after a short injury layoff. Hilary picked up a knock during the Peace Boys Matchday 5 clash against Ikorodu City. According to reports, Hilary has been scheduled for a late fitness test ahead of Plateau United's next match against Sunshine Stars. MBWA's Magnet side will host Sunshine Stars at the New Jaw Stadium on Sunday. Plateau United have registered 3 wins, 2 draws and 3 defeats in 8 matches this season. They occupy 7th position on the table with 11 points. That's it for news updates at this time. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us.